Hey everybody, today we're going to take a look at a rigging technique called a floating rigging point. So this works really well. I've used it a lot on some pruning jobs we're doing, or maybe you're just taking one limb, or let's say you're taking one random tree out that you have to rig out, but you can rig it out in one piece to another tree. This works really well so you don't have to climb all the way up in the tree, set a rigging point, come down, do all your rigging, and then go back up and pull that rigging point out of the tree. This makes it retrievable from the ground, and it's set, you can set it from the ground as well. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we set a throw line up through a nice high rigging point, a suitable rigging point for what we're trying to do. And we tied our rigging line, so we're going to use two rigging lines for this. This is the first one. We're going to pull that up in the tree right now. So now we have the rigging line through the tree and just the end of it coming down to me. So from this point, we're going to take a DMM impact block, and I like to tie a bowline with a Yosemite tie off on it. And that's just personal preference. It's kind of a ways away from me. I can't really keep an eye on it, so I know that it's now backed up and locked off, right? So we have our impact block on this end of the rope. So as you can see, we're going to be able to pull this up in the tree. We want to make sure that we put another rigging line through it first. So we're going to take our rigging line, our second rigging line, we're going to pass it through the block, and then I like to just tie it off to my rope bag or something as I'm pulling it up in the tree, and that just keeps that tail from running away on me. So I know that that's secure. I can now pull this block all the way up in the tree to that rigging point. Okay, so for here we're just going to pull it this far up so you can kind of see what's going on. But here's our block, and then this end of the rope we're going to have to lock it off somewhere. So we could use, if we had two porter wraps, maybe a porter wrap and a GRCS, we could lock it off on a porter wrap. But for this, we're just actually going to take the rope, we're going to pass it around the tree, and we're just going to tie a big doubled bowline, right? With two parts of rope, the rope's going to be doubled up. Pass it right around the tree. Make sure we have enough. We're going to pass it over both pieces of rope. And we're going to tie a bowline here. And we're going to bring this around so it locks off against the tree. Right. So that's what we're looking for. And now this rigging point is secured. So we can rig out everything that we want. The one thing you do want to pay attention to is the fact that where this rope goes up and the union point that it goes over, there's going to be a multiplied load on that point. Okay, so you don't want to use a really small rigging point when you have a floating rigging point. And obviously the reason being is you don't want to break out that rigging point or have something bad like that happen. The reason behind that is, in a perfect world, if there were no friction up here at the top and we had a 100-pound limb on this side of the rigging line, I would need 100 pounds of opposing force to hold that. So 100 plus 100 equals 200 here of downward force on that rigging line. Obviously we're going to have some friction up in the tree, so those numbers are going to be a little bit different, but it's just a good rule of thumb to play by. Lastly, when you are getting ready to pull this thing out of the tree, obviously it's way up there at the top, you want to make sure that yourself and the rigging guys and the ground guys on the ground do not pull this rigging line out. If they do, then you have this big old block that's up in the tree, and you're going to have to try to pull it through that crotch that it's through. So when you're all done and you're ready to pull all your rigging out of the tree, make sure you untie your bowline at the bottom first. So our bowline is out of the tree, it's clear of everything. Then you're going to take both legs of rope and you're going to pull down on them. That'll pull this whole system down to you. At this point, you can untie it We drop it here. We drop our block off the end. We pull this rope out of the tree, and we're all set. All our rigging's out of the tree. Hopefully you guys can use this, and it can save some time on your job. Thanks for watching.